let us get into a little bit of transfer talk. A little bit of transfer talk. Smilai, where do we begin? Should we begin with the superstar or should we talk about one of the rising stars?
Rising stars,
Okay,
I think
let's
so.
talk about a rising star. This is a player that I like. If you guys have been following and paying attention to me, I was one of the first people that really started to talk about this guy and really started to put him in the public eye. And then now, of course, he has earned his spot, in the Super Eagles. He has been not really been a starter per se, but he has been a regular in the team. And we're now hearing that two of Europe's current biggest sides are potentially interested in him. I'm talking about Raphael Onyedika. We are hearing that he might be of interest to both Bayern Munich and
Yeah.
Arsenal. Even though we've had Barcelona links, I think, in the past. Yeah. But
Yes,
right now, we're
yes.
hearing that he might be of interest to Bayern Munich, incoming German champions. They're going to win the league. And then Arsenal, who are second place. That's their normal spot. So it's me like looking at these two clubs, looking at the player that Rafael Onyedika is, do you think there is any chance that he actually joins them? And if you think so, which of these clubs do you think will make the most sense for him as a player?
No, for me, I think I understand what the Arsenal scouts are trying to do. They're trying to replace Thomas Partey, and they believe that he's the right player with the right age profile to actually replace him. Last weekend they were there to watch him play against Tudor Godaris Genk. And I think they won 1-0.
And he played well.
So you know, yes, he has also been linked with Bayern Munich in the past. So it's not only the two clubs. We've been hearing about other what's it called? Chelsea, have been, interested, in him, but Chelsea, I don't know what Chelsea are buying for.
The
Uh, you
midfield
know,
is already full.
we have been hearing about Italy, and the good thing is that they said that they might be going for like a slightly reduced price, this summer. So for me, I just think that he's a player that if you've watched him play, don't watch him for Nigeria. You have watched him play for his club side, especially the two games against, him against Man City, him against Atlanta. You will know exactly how talented this guy can actually be. If he plays in the right system. So for me, Arsenal move, he might not be a starter per se at the start, but at the long run, he's going to really establish himself. Because compared to, Jorginho is going back to Brazil, and I'm hearing that Partey might be going to Atletico Madrid. So, it's normal for him to look for a way to get midfielders in so that they can actually compete. I mean, they're not competing, they're competing for second spot.
But why would Partey leave right now when he's having such a fantastic season? He's balling, getting a lot of attention. I'm just wondering why he would leave right now. For me, so
Yeah.
you want to say something? Go on.
Yeah. No, I think his injury records are it's like up Nepa, you might be enjoying the light now before you know it. Bam, but is out for 3-4
I mean,
months.
fair, he does
Injury
get
records are
injured quite a bit. But I think for me, the thing is that I look at it that when a player is moving from like Belgium, your next step has to be very, very well thought out. It has to be a step that you really
Mhm.
thought about. And you don't want to go to a team whereby all of a sudden you are going to be on the bench week in, week out, and all the lights that was shining that people saw that got you that move, all of a sudden now you're not playing, so the
Mhm.
light is just dim. That's why it's interesting for me. I look at Arsenal and I'm like, if we say, okay, is it going to replace Jorginho? Fine, but Jorginho is not really, we don't really think of Jorginho now when we think of Arsenal. Jorginho is essentially a substitute.
Okay, if Partey and the Euro leaves, which is probably
If they both
what
leave and he comes in and they don't bring anybody else, then yeah, with Declan Rice and Onyedika and then Odegaard, with them, that can make a formidable midfield trio. Who knows?
Mhm.
But those players would have to leave first for me to really get excited about it because right now, the reality of it, as much as I like Onyedika, Partey is a better midfielder right now.
Mhm.
Jorginho is older, so I'm not even, and there are different kinds of players. So I'm not even going to really think about Jorginho, but Partey is
Mhm.
balling, man. Like I'm watching the guy and I'm thinking, wow, this guy is really good. So for me, I need somebody to leave or both of them to leave first because I don't want him to come and be sitting on the bench and then all the things that we are seeing that we like about him we don't get to see again. I would rather him honestly move to an Italy or move to a France, somewhere that he can get game time, maybe play in the Europa League or play in the Champions League, for maybe not one of the top teams, but a team that is qualifying for the Champions League as well. And then that way,
Mhm,
we can continue to see what he's doing and he can continue to shine. That's how I feel about it right now,
mhm,
honestly. And then when I think of Bayern Munich, so Bayern Munich now, right now, they play mostly with Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka.
mhm, mhm.
It's tough, man. It's tough. Is he a better midfielder than Joshua Kimmich? I don't know. Is he a better midfielder than
Mhm,
Leon Goretzka?
mhm. To them, I enjoy
I
them.
mean, Goretzka is 30 years old, but
Mhm.
his creativity in terms of finding opportunities for his teammates, his experience,
Even
his
his
runs,
runs in the
it's
ball.
hard for me to see how Onyedika will come and slot into the starting 11. Now, maybe I'm underrating him and Onyedika is watching this and is thinking like, see, don't worry, I'm going to go there and I'll shine. I don't know. But right now, I just think that those are very, very uncertain situations for him to get into. And
Mhm.
sometimes they say, well, you don't always have to stay in your comfort zone. Go and challenge yourself. Iron sharpens iron. Go somewhere that, yeah, you can play with top quality players and yourself can stick along. At least, I mean, at the end of the day, somebody has to sit on the bench at Real Madrid. Somebody has to sit on the bench at Bayern. But for me, I just think while you're making this first move, I know that Bayern will pay well, Arsenal will pay well, but I think he's a player that has high potential. So at least go and try your hand somewhere else first. Even if you go
Mhm,
to, let's imagine if you are going to Germany and you go to like a Frankfurt or a Leipzig,
mhm,
those kind of teams that are
mhm.
thereabouts, they get some attention, but they are not the biggest team.
You see that Yenka is not higher than going to.
Frankfurt are about to qualify for Champions League.
Well, they're about to sign a Nigerian player. Right.
It's not the same position now.
Then no, then it's
Wait,
the same
which Nigerian
position.
player are you talking about?
He
He
go
goes
at the
guy.
same
So
age. The
between him
guy.
and Onyedika, who is better?
Yenka is way better, but I think Onyeka is higher in France. I think it's better than
I mean, he's going to a
France right
Champions
there.
League team. I don't exactly think.
But can I just make case
Okay,
for
go
him
on.
in Bayern Munich, please? According to what they hear, because Vincent Company once worked in Anderlecht
Mm,
before, and I think he had
okay.
scouts in Belgium. I think they are recommending Raphael Onyedika, for him. I think he wants a physical presence in the midfield. I think one time the Bayern Munich play against a physical opponent, I think they got the midfield is not really the same, with Kimmich, and they're not the most physical,
Yeah.
but they're very technical. They dictate the pace of the game. When they play against a team that they have to what's it called, possess the ball. For imagine play against a middle of Dramani, Kamavinga, and all those people will rough handle you, but you have to meet them with their match. So I think he's looking for a different option in that midfield. I think he tried to he got this boy from Palinha.
Yeah,
Is it
Palhinha,
Palinha they
yeah.
call him? But the guy was very good for Fulham. I don't know what happened when actually got to Bayern Munich. So I don't think he actually worked. He didn't really actually work that well for him. So for me, I think he's based on the scouts,
Mm.
in Belgium, and because he has also worked in that area before. So if he's a coach is signing you, I think he might be getting the opportunity to play for Bayern Munich until they sack Vincent
He said
Company.
until they sack him.
You can't even, you don't know, you
Yeah.
never know. You never know. You do a win by
Yeah,
the
but he's
single
not
about,
having the best. He's not
you
having the
never know.
best season for sure. Another transfer that we want to talk about, a player that we already highlighted earlier on the show today, our star boy, Victor James Osimhen. Of course, Osimhen is in news for transfer rumors. Most of the world does not expect him to stay at Galatasaray beyond this season. Even Osimhen did an interview where he said, "Right now, I'm focusing on Galatasaray, but at the end, we'll assess and he will make the best decision for everybody." Which club does he end up? Is it Chelsea? Is it Juve? Is it PSG? Is it back at Napoli? Is it Galatasaray? Is it United, Arsenal? We don't know yet. But right now, there have been some strong rumors coming from Spain. Um, as reported by AS Diario, I think that's how you pronounce the name of the company. FC Barcelona are potentially interested in signing Victor Osimhen as a replacement for the aging Robert Lewandowski. Smith Layi, Barcelona, storied football club, plays at the Estadio Camp Nou, the spectacle of a stadium, large crowd, fantastic atmosphere, always competing. Even if they cannot register players, they find a way to still be competing for titles year in, year out. Um, do you think this is a club that Osimhen should be taken very seriously? And do you think he can do well as a player of FC Barcelona?
I think the good thing is that if the coach wants you, the coach is always the most important thing. In this case, I think Hanso Flick is the one that is interested, in signing Victor Osimhen. If you look at it, it's not the profile Barcelona type of striker. The person will go for Erling Haaland, those Goretzka, those no, as in Gokeres, those type of player. But it's someone that they believe that if he actually what, if he comes in, he's going to be someone that can actually what, do well for them. And don't forget that Barcelona is like a historic club. Don't no many African players have played there and be successful. In fact, those that have played there have either perform well for their country and also win the African Player of the Year. Look at he's going to win number 9 jersey. Samuel Eto'o feels, look at you could see that look at
Yeah, yeah.
Yaya Toure, play for the same club too. Say educator. So for me, I think that and I'm hearing that he likes the move. You have an idea of the move, but if your club did not do anything, so for me, I think that he's going to go there and actually what perform well. He's going to be going to a team that's with young players. He doesn't have to face Kubasi again. So no, he's going to be playing with Kubasi, be playing with Pedri, be playing with what's it called,
Gavi,
Gavi, be playing with
Lamine Yamal.
yeah, man, those young players, any
Mm,
kind of all of them, we'll be playing with those ones. For me, I think it's a project you should think very well. If others can actually if other deals work out, I think Baka can be a potential actually move for him. And then the coach wants him, he likes all these that can break offside lines, all those eye lines and everything. That's what I think. That's why I think that Victor Osimhen can actually was even fit to his pattern, and doesn't have to hustle and bustle again. And he's someone that can score.
mm.
If you create for him, he can actually he can score. So that's it.
No, I mean, Barcelona, like we've both said, historic club,
Mm-hmm,
very successful club, multiple Champions Leagues, big titles. I mean, Barcelona every season still competes in arguably the biggest game in club football, the El Clasico. Every time they face Real Madrid, we know it's a spectacle. Everybody wants to watch.
mm-hmm,
One of the two teams in the world that honestly has the power to attract almost any player in the world.
mm-hmm,
You know how it is. When Real Madrid wants a player, they get the player.
mm-hmm,
When Barcelona wants a player, they get the player. It
mm-hmm,
usually does not matter which other club is interested. Once
mm-hmm,
they come for you, they
mm-hmm,
sign you.
mm-hmm,
So it is a very interesting move.
mm-hmm.
They want him to be a replacement for Lewandowski, but the way I'm looking at Lewandowski, I don't think Lewandowski himself is trying to be replaced yet.
I think he's thinking if he wins the Champions League, he will go.
Maybe, but I think the same way I was saying about Onyedika, I would need to see Lewandowski out the door first
Mm-hmm,
before Osimhen comes in. It's
mm-hmm,
not that I don't think Osimhen can bench Lewandowski, don't get me wrong,
mm-hmm,
but I think because Lewandowski is more tried and tested and proven,
mm-hmm,
even if Osimhen is there, they will probably let Lewandowski start first. And then when Osimhen impresses off the bench, is
mm-hmm.
when they will eventually now make him the first choice.
Mhm.
And I don't
Do
feel
you
like,
do you think with that age, Lewandowski can play the way he played? I mean, maybe about 40 games here. He can play another season next
I
year.
mean, who knows, man? Who knows? Like, the guy is still a very, very good striker.
He's a good striker, but he's
And
just
one of
like
no, but one
he's
of the things that I like about him is really just that positioning. It doesn't
mm,
have to burn so much energy. Like, this is
yeah,
not the Lewandowski that we saw a couple years ago scoring 5 goals in a game. He's not putting in
mm,
all that work. He's not jumping and doing scissors kick anymore. He's not doing anything crazy, but his positioning is always going to be good. His finishing is always going to be good, and his intelligence is always going to be good. Those are traits that he has that allowing him to still be successful this season. I mean, this man has scored 11 goals in the Champions League this season, playing in 12 matches. Has scored 25 goals in the league. It does
And
not look like he's slowing down.
I see he's going to be 38 next year.
See, if he's still playing like this at 30, 36, 37, then what are we talking about? So for me, I want to see him out the door first. Let Lewandowski go to Alcolud. Then Osimhen can, Osimhen can come and take his spot in Barcelona. But I mean, Barcelona is a big club. It's a huge
Mhm,
club. As much
mhm,
as I want Osimhen to join my club,
mhm.
Chelsea, his dream club, I still think that when Barcelona comes for any player, it's hard for the player to ignore. My
Yeah.
own question now is, can they afford him? Not the one that they will sign our player now for 3 months. They cannot register him. He cannot play match like they did to
No,
Daniel.
no, they will not make a
Can they
mistake.
can they afford him? Do they
They will not,
have the funds?
they will not make a mistake. They are good. They are selling Ansu Fati. So they're saying,
How much are they going to buy Ansu Fati today? You say they are saying Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati is no more than a 20 million at best player right now.
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's not more than a 20 million player at best right now. So for me, I need to see Lewandowski out the door first.
Mhm.
I still want Osimhen to join Chelsea. I need
Uh,
him to come and play in the Premier League. I need to lead the line. All the chances that Nicolas Jackson is wasting, that Sancho is not doing. Palmer go just they feed Osimhen. Oh, they will become best friends.
Even Palmer is
And
not creative or anything again. But that's the super.
because Palmer is tired. If you overwork somebody, eventually the life will catch up with him. Let him come and play in the Premier League. Let him score goals. The PR, the media, the
Mm-hmm,
noise, it's
mm-hmm,
it's going to be big. And then he will be him and Palmer can be the co-stars. Right
mm-hmm,
now, because of what Palmer has done, obviously you cannot just join and take over from Palmer. Palmer is still the star. But
mm-hmm,
you can co-star, Osimhen, Palmer, Caicedo, the spine. Should we were talking about the spine of a team,
mm-hmm.
just that they need to get rid of the goalkeeper and bring a better goalkeeper. But let's at this point, in Chelsea, I will take Maduka Okoye self at this point. But if Osimhen number 9, Palmer number 10, and Caicedo, come on now, like that's a solid spine.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I still need him to join Chelsea, but Barcelona is a team that you cannot ignore.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot ignore. He will score goals for Barcelona, I believe.
Yeah,
So. He will enjoy playing with Lamine
you will
Yamal.
play in Champions League, not Conference League.
Yeah, making shots at my club. Uh, but
Because the way they are doing now, it's like that. I just want to.
I mean, Chelsea right now, that Champions League is who knows? Because the way the season is going, Chelsea might finish seventh. Fulham can even still catch up. Is is incredible, man. That's the only thing that I don't like. Because if it's by coach now, for example,
Mhm.
Hansi Flick is 10 times the coach that Enzo Maresca is.
Yes.
Not the one that Maresca will sign Osimhen now, tell him to come and play left wing because the way
Mhm,
he's playing Cucurella in midfield, playing with James in midfield, Gusto is playing on from the left. The
mhm,
man is just scattering the whole thing. So before we know it now, we say Osimhen is a center back or is a
mhm,
left winger. But because I'm a Chelsea fan,
mhm,
I want Osimhen to join the club. I want him to come and score goals in England.
mhm,
I know Osimhen, the kind of see Osimhen, Osimhen is a guy that likes attention. He
mhm,
likes showing off his lifestyle, all those kind of things. London life, come on
mhm,
now, come on.
mhm.
Osimhen will enjoy London, big boy.
Uh,
Osimhen will enjoy London. He will
so
enjoy London. Barcelona is not. Barcelona is. They don't get me wrong. Barcelona is a nice city, but they're not used to black people in Barcelona like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but go to London, like there's the whole culture, in it boys, you can join their crew, hang out with all these guys, go
And
shopping,
like
spend
the young
money.
boys in Blackburn.
Ah, spend his money when he wants to go. He can go on vacation to Italy to go and do shopping, go on
Uh-huh.
vacation to Paris to do some shopping,
Mhm.
fly his private jet anywhere, not his private jet, but get private jet and fly anywhere he wants to go. I mean, let's see what happens, Sha. Barcelona is a very tempting destination, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But
and,
Osimhen should not go and be a second choice to anybody.
yeah,
That's
and you mentioned something about Ansu Fati. If about a few years ago, his release cost was 1 billion.
that's Barcelona and their. If Barcelona sign Osimhen, how much do you think they'll put his release clause?
It's still 1 billion, yeah.
It's reach 1 billion now. Those ones they are jokers. I don't know what they're always doing.
Yeah,
If you don't want to sell, say you're not selling. Which one is 1 billion release clause? Let's be like let's be for real now. Nobody's paying that kind of money for any footballer.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, shout out to Victor Osimhen, man. Shout out to Victor Osimhen. Fantastic player, fantastic talent. He
Mhm.
just needs to keep his head focused on the goal, keep improving as a player, and the potential that the boy has, man.
Mhm.
He can. There's still so much that he can achieve in his playing career, and I'm honestly very excited to see where he ends up and what he's able to do. But he needs to win trophies. That's the important thing. Osimhen needs to win trophies. That's the only thing that is missing from his legacy. When I even think about, like, for example, I was thinking about this today. Smith, like, we're going to record our ranking of the best Nigerian forwards ever. But I was thinking about Osimhen's legacy for Nigeria, for example. No doubt, Osimhen is already one of Nigeria's best ever strikers. But
Mhm.
when you now want to consider greatness, in order for you to want to compare him to certain great strikers or great forwards that we've had, he needs to win
Mhm.
because that's the difference maker. You
Yeah.
can bang in goals, bang in goals, bang in goals, but you need to win for people to really put you on that pedestal. Now, I know he has won the African best, but he needs to win for Nigeria and he needs to win more for his club.
Yeah.
This Galatasaray trophy is nice, so is a feather to your cap.
Mhm.
But let's be honest, it's not it's not like, oh, winning La Liga
You think
or winning Premier League.
Onyekuru won the league now?
What do you say?
You think Onyekuru won the league?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's not something that people are going to, when they are really comparing players. They're not going to say, "Oh, you won the Turkish Super League, so it means that it's that good." No, but if you win La Liga, you win Prem, you win Champions League. At least the Serie A holds weight. So
Mhm.
I need him to play for a big team and win.